ABC Radio, Brisbane and Queensland. You're with Kelly Higgins Devine. It's Heart Week. And as you know, that's a topic close to my heart, which is working fine. Thank you for asking. But it's not just those of us above a certain age who need to have a heart check, especially if you have a family history of heart disease, or maybe you've been feeling a bit of a twinge here and there. When was the last time you had your blood pressure checked, for instance? A lot of the signs of heart disease can be silent, so you need to be on the ball. I'd like you to say hello to two fabulous women. Kate Wildermuth-Watt was a finalist in last year's season of My Kitchen Rules, along with Mary Job, and she is an ambassador for Coastrek. Hello.
Good evening, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Good to see you again, because we were both at an International Women's Day Heart Foundation gig together.
Yeah, we're passionate about
I'm going to have to get you to move that microphone over, so that was slack of me. So we were there, and it was great. Your first time hosting, and you were amazing.
Thank you, Kelly.
It's like you've been doing it for years.
Thank you.
And yes, I was very jealous. And Di Westaway is with us as well, founder and chief adventure chick at Wild Women on Top. Also heads up a series of team trekking and fundraising walks called Coastrek. Hi, Di.
Hi, Kelly, and weren't we lucky to hear your extraordinary story, which I'm sure your listeners already know. But, yeah, what a great event that was.
It was. And, my listeners have heard all about my heart many a time, I must admit. Now, Kate, we met at that event. Tell me why you went for a heart check.
So my background was that my grandmother died of a heart attack, and my father also recently got diagnosed with high cholesterol and then was put on statins. Mm-hmm. And I kind of thought, I'm turning 40 very soon, in a month, and I thought it was about time that I got all of my, everything checked. And I was like, you know what, I'm moving into that part of my life. I work in public health, so I thought, right, I'm going to get everything checked. And I thought it wasn't going to even be, it was just going to be, yep, fine, move on, let's go, I don't know, get a pap smear or check my breasts or whatever was next. And they actually said, oh, by the way, your cholesterol's a bit high. Ooh. I said, pardon me? They said, it's a bit high. And I said, oh, okay, so what do I do? And they're like, well, you need to lose weight. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. And so now, since then, I've kind of gone, so, we know that heart disease, it doesn't happen when you have the heart attack. It's happened sort of decades beforehand. And I thought to myself, well, that's the writing on the wall. It's time. So since then, I've joined up with Coastrek, and I'm so excited because I went from MKR, where I was basically cooking with butter the whole time and had gained a whole lot of weight.
Where's the sauce?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And it was like sauce and it was butter and it was cream to now sort of turning things around. I'm walking a lot.
Mm-hmm. When you say a lot, what's a lot?
So Coastrek, at my Coastrek, Sunshine Coast, it's on the 21st of July. Mm-hmm. So since then I've been working, so I do a big walk on a Saturday. So I'm sort of doing 15 Ks, but I'm not quite at my goal of 30 Ks. But it's wonderful. And then I'll probably do a couple of walks during the week with Mia, my 18-month-year-old. Mm-hmm. And
exciting.
I know. And it's getting to that point now. So for our Coastrek, on my team is my daughter Mia, 18-month-year-old, and my father, who's nearly 70.
Great.
And he's walking for the Heart Foundation as well.
Brilliant. Now, I'll bring Di into the conversation. Di, Coastrek, which of course is one of Wild Women on Top's fundraising achievements. It's such a brilliant thing that happens around the country. Tell us a bit about how Coastrek developed.
Well, Coastrek came out of my desire to get women moving and really to help them fall in love with health and fitness, because a lot of women aren't in love with health and fitness, and we kind of need to be, as as we've heard from Kate. If you're not moving your body, then it's very easy to slip down into developing risk factors for heart disease and many other chronic diseases. So I was very passionate about getting women moving, and I knew that a lot of women didn't want to go to a gym, and they found that sort of alienating. And I sort of discovered almost by accident this fabulous thing called hiking. And so I started this little hiking group, and my background was as a phys ed teacher. So I started training up groups of women to do these big extreme hikes around the world. And then I realised that this wasn't really appealing to a lot of women. And I was like, well, maybe we need something closer to home, something that is accessible to midlife mums, because I was one of those at the time. And I came up with the idea of doing a big, long walk. At the time, it was 100 kilometres or 50 kilometres along the Sydney coast. And it was raising money at the time for the Fred Hollows Foundation. Now, that little idea just took on a life of its own. And, we couldn't keep up with the demand, and we gradually expanded around Australia. And now, as you mentioned, we partner with the Heart Foundation, which we're really excited about, because walking, particularly walking when you throw in a few little hills up and down over a headland along a beach, is really good for your heart health. So not only are our Coastrekkers doing something good for their heart health, but they're also raising money for heart research and to help eliminate rheumatic heart disease in Indigenous communities. So it's a great cause.
It certainly is. And Kate, how did you become an ambassador for Coastrek Sunshine Coast?
Well, it was my very, very good friend Di Westerway who asked me to be one. So I suppose I really started to get pretty invested into the Heart Foundation, and it was sort of kind of, I have the public health background. I'm so passionate, particularly about women's health. It's sort of the field that I've been working in for the last 15 years, and I wanted to make a change in my life, which hopefully, it's one of those things that the more people you tell, the more kind of hopefully positive influence you're making in there. But since meeting Dynamic Di, I must say, my calves aren't quite as tight as yours, but I must say I'm trying pretty hard.
Di has amazing calves.
Amazing.
It was a couple of months ago that we met, but I still remember those calf muscles. They're like little tennis balls.
It's like an anatomical diagram.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very much so. So how much do you walk, a week or a day, Di? What's your sort of training regimen?
Look, my routine is 3 times a week, and I'm very, very lucky because I live right near beautiful national parks on Sydney Harbour. So I can basically walk out my door and walk along the beautiful coast. So it's very easy for me. But if I didn't have that, I'd encourage people to just go and walk around your local park. But really, really, for your health and for your heart health, you need to walk at least 30 minutes a day, and that's every single day. And if you're a woman over 50, you need to actually walk an hour a day.
Oh, crikey, and where are we getting that time?
I know, it's not good. It's not good news, really, because you've got to do double. As you go through menopause and things start to slow down and things start to change, you need to do double the walking. But it doesn't need to be arduous. If you're outdoors in the, in the beautiful sunshine or not, in the fresh air, it really is very therapeutic in many other ways, and it can also be really social. So what we know about our Coastrekkers is that most of them love the talking as much as the walking. And there's not many exercise modalities where you could just chat the whole time, and that's part of it. So it's a pretty cool thing. So look, 3 times a week you need to go and do a little puff. So I make sure I get a few stairs. My office is on the 2nd floor, so I'm up and down those stairs. I make a point of going up and down those stairs every day, and that's really all you need to do. But the walking every day it's a deal breaker. It's got to be done, and it can be fun.
Yeah. Now with Coastrek, July 21st, that's happening. So how can people still put in a team if they're listening tonight and thinking, actually, that sounds like a good idea, get out there, have a walk, raise some money for great research?
Oh, look, that's a great question. Registrations close on the 11th of June, so you've still got a good 5 weeks. And as you said, you've got to do it with a team. So they're teams of 4. You can be male or female. We do particularly reach out to women because we know women are generally less likely to do an adventurous thing like hiking, and they need a little bit more encouragement, a bit more support. And also we know that if you can change a woman's health behaviour, the ripples will affect everybody in the family. So get your team together. If you just Google Coastrek, it's Coastrek with 1 T, all one word, Coastrek. Do Google Coastrek, you'll find us. and you can jump on the website and all the information's there. But
Yep.
really is a beautiful walk on a Friday. So if you're a working girl, you've got to get the day off work.
Yep.
A lot of companies will give you a day off work if you're doing something for charity. And look, there's nothing better than that walking that beautiful Sunshine Coast.
That's so true.
It is beautiful up there, Di. And I must say, you know, the 20K twilight walk, I mean, if you didn't want to do the 30, I'm doing the 30. My wife's going to be doing the 45. But Kelly, I mean, would you ever consider doing the 20?
You two are evil. July to. I think I would probably just collapse after about 10. But how about if I promise you I will do it next year?
Oh, yes.
This
We
year-
can be on the same team.
Okay, I will do that. I will do that next year. This year's just, I'm moving house and there's just too much on my plate
Fair
at
enough,
the moment.
fair enough.
I've got to know my limits.
Yep.
But next year, I promise I will do it.
Yeah.
On the
We
Friday.
won't
And
let
then
you forget that,
do
Kelly.
our
That's
20K. We watch the sun go down
We
together,
will.
Kelly.
That's it. And I'll be cursing you both.
Yeah, no, it'll be
And
great.
just going, my feet are blistered.
Hey, what about if Di rubs your feet at the end of it? Would you do that, Di?
Absolutely.
absolutely, I'd be delighted to do that. And look, the other thing that we've got to help you, Kelly, and all of our Coastrekkers is we have a training program.
Yep.
So that it actually you're not alone. You don't just suddenly rock up on the day. A really important part of Coastrek is we want to encourage you to walk every day, if not at least 3 times a week, to
Yep.
prepare for the hike. So we give you lots and lots of tips and help along the way about what to wear so you don't get blisters.
Mhm.
So we really want you to have fun on the day. So yeah, it shouldn't be arduous. And look, 10 is an amazing start. Like, if you can do 10, then you can do 20, babe. Like, you got this.
This is right. You know what? I went to Japan a couple of months ago and we did nothing but walk for a week. And it was actually all right. It was
Yeah.
fine. So
You'll be okay.
that's it.
The Japanese love actually.
They love a walk.
Yeah, they love forest bathing and walking in nature. They've
Yep.
proven will lower your blood pressure. It will lower your depression, anxiety.
Yep, the whole lot.
I know.
Okay, I've made a promise. I will do it.
Excellent.
Next year,
So many-
ladies.
Thank you,
I'm
So
Kelly.
many
there.
good things.
Di Westaway and Kate, thank you so much for coming in. Kate Wildermuth-Watt. And I can tell you, Kate is going to be joining us as a reckoner on What Do You Reckon? Some Monday nights. So make sure you tune in and we'll get her thoughts on a whole range of things.
Brilliant. I can't wait.
It should be a lot of fun. Di, Kate, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best. See you there. Bye.